Thursday night football, the Baltimore Ravens are on the road to take on the Miami Dolphins. My best bets are on the way, including 2 player props, my parlay, and my pick on the side or total. If you're new, my name is Austin. We always begin these videos recapping how we did the previous week, win or loss. And we haven't been doing a lot of losing this season because we absolutely dominated. We set a season high in units won in back-to-back weeks. Last week, up 8 units. We crushed the books, and we cashed a lot of plus money plays. We're up almost 25 units on the season through 8 weeks. We love to see that. I'd love to say it's going to continue the rest of the season, but you never know with the NFL. We'll just try to make the best reads we possibly can and keep the line moving and try to turn in a historic year. But we're certainly off to a great start. Hopefully, you've been making some money with me. If you haven't, and maybe you're new, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We do a ton of videos for not only these primetime games, but also for Sunday slate. Make sure you don't miss out on that. But let's dive into things. I do want to put one quick reminder out there. We did post a Week 9 game picks video. We go through every single game on Sunday and Monday Night Football, give your favorite side or total in every single game. It's a fun, like, podcasty type video. We post it every Wednesday morning. I'll link it down below as well at the end, as well as at the end of the video. Again, maybe you're on the way to work. You can listen to it, hear our thoughts on maybe your team. All the games are time stamped in that video. So if you want to skip around, you certainly can. But let's dive into my favorite play for this game. And it's actually a 2-leg same game parlay. I don't do a ton of these, but I think this is my favorite play, and I'll play it for 1 unit. It is going to be Lamar Jackson for 2 or more passing touchdowns, as well as Tua Tagovailoa for 1 or more passing touchdowns. It's minus 111 on Caesars. Playing this for 1 unit. My best play in the game. It's my biggest one as well. I'll play this for 1 unit. I looked at FanDuel. It's about minus 126. DraftKings a little bit more juiced, but again, these are 2 of my favorite props. Obviously, Lamar Jackson's line is 2, but it's like minus 200 alone. Tua's line is at 1.5, but plus money on the over if you're looking for that. I like combining them here. Minus 111. I love throwing a unit on that and hope that these 2 fellas can get me 3 passing touchdowns combined, 2 from Lamar, 1 from Tua. Now, here's why. If you're just a guy that just bets on hit rates, well, here's some hit rates for you. Lamar Jackson over his last 20 games, 2 or more touchdowns in 17 of those 20. Passing touchdowns, obviously. One of those games that he lost was the game that he left earlier this season. So he's been pretty dang good. Tua Tagovailoa has been just as good, if not better. 1+ passing touchdowns and 19 of his last 20. So again, he's been uber consistent, especially at home where he plays a lot better. Now, Lamar has faced the Dolphins a few times in his career, 4 times to be exact in those games. 5, 1, 3, and 5 passing touchdowns. So if you're maybe looking for a juicy plus money parlay leg, I think he's like plus 200 for 3 or more. Wouldn't be shocked if that hit. Tua's 3 games versus Baltimore. 1, he had 0. He got injured in that game. 6 and 2 passing touchdowns. So again, Tua's typically getting at least 1, but he's had some good games against the Baltimore Ravens, whose defense is getting healthier and healthier, but again, their secondary has never been the strength of this defense. It's mostly been stopped from the run, which they'll obviously have to do that here. But we've seen these 2 secondaries struggle. The only QB without 2 or more pass touchdowns versus Baltimore, or without at least 1 passing touchdown versus Baltimore, which is all we need from Tua, is Caleb Williams last week. And as I said, the Dolphins secondary has looked good lately, but they played Dylan Gabriel and Kirk Cousins without Drake London. So you look at prior to that, 4 of the 5 QBs to face the Dolphins had thrown them 2 or more. That included Drake May, Josh Allen, even Bryce Young, Justin Herbert. All those guys had 2 or more. Obviously, if you don't know, Lamar Jackson is from the Miami area. I don't exactly know where he's from, but he's from Florida. He'll have a lot of friends and family in attendance. Hence why he usually balls out in Miami. I love his 2+ pass touchdowns parlayed with Tua to get 1, minus 111 on Caesars. You can probably take that on PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy, and daily fantasy apps like that if you want to. I really do like that one. I'll get into one more player prop, but I do want to talk about Chalkboard sponsoring the video. Like, you guys know I love Chalkboard. If you are new to it, you can sign up. It's normal. It's a normal daily fantasy app. You can sign up. You'll get this free pick. You also get a match on your first deposit, dollar for dollar. So maybe you're like, also, I don't really want to deposit like $20. They'll give you an extra 20. So it's pretty cool. You got to use code CLS or the link down below. I'll have a Chalkboard slip with a couple more props after this next player prop, and then we'll talk about some my lean on the game. But let's talk about my favorite individual player prop. It is only a half unit play, but I think it's smack, and it could smack on the first play of the game or the last. Derrick Henry, over 19.5 yards for his longest rush attempt. Now, no, this is not Derrick Henry's over in rush attempts. No, this is not his over in rush yards. Derrick Henry could go out there, get 1 carry for 20 yards, cash this, and just leave the face of the earth. It could happen. But obviously, I hope that's not the case, and I hope he has a big day. But I do love this play, 20-plus yard carry for King Henry at a half unit, -112. You could go bigger, but again, there is some volatility for a prop like this. Derrick Henry, like he had a couple weeks ago, he had 100-plus rush yards. Did not get this. And in fact, if you're just someone that looks at hit rates or like how often has this person hit this prop, you won't like this one because Derrick Henry's under in 4 straight weeks. But again, much easier to game plan for a Ravens offense that was being led by Cooper Rush or Snoop Huntley than it is with Lamar Jackson under the helm. You can't load the box. And even if teams aren't necessarily loading the box, those safeties are creeping up because they're going to bet, they're going to live with you throwing it over the top. That's not the case against Lamar Jackson. Do not load the box against him. You probably would torched. And heck, Lamar could pull on some runs and get around the edge. And I think Lamar and Derrick Henry finally get going here. Obviously, slower start to the season. Their offense was good. The defense was not. We've seen Derrick Henry. I mean, do I need to tell you how talented the man is? Last season, he was over this line in 14 of 19 games, 74% of the time. Went over 2 times in the first 3 weeks, but obviously he's under in 4 straight, largely correlated with Lamar Jackson being out. And the Dolphins' rush defense, you could say Austin, they just bottled up Bijan Robinson. And I'm going to be like, yeah, well, the Falcons are what they are. They're up and down. But also, if you were the Dolphins there, you had a Falcons offense down. They're starting QB. So they're starting Kirk Cousins, a backup, and they were down Drake London. So again, what are we going to do? We're loading the heck out of that box and forcing you guys to beat us throwing the football. And they obviously did not. But prior to that, you had seen opposing running backs torch this Dolphins defense, especially hitting this long rush. Week 2, Ramondre Stevenson, 21-yard long. Week 3, James Cook, 26. Week 4, Breece Hall, 23. Week 5, Rico Dowdle, 53. Week 6, Kamani Vidal, 38. Week 7, Judkins, 46. Again, they are decent most of the time for the Dolphins, but they give up those explosive plays. And there is not many running backs over the past decade that have had more explosive plays than Derrick Henry. So I'm going to roll with him. 20-plus yard long rush. I think he cashes it. He's not going under 5 straight games in a row. King Henry, we're rolling with you. Now I need to give you my lean on the side before getting to some more player props on Chalkboard. If I had to bet anything here for the spread-wise, I lean the Ravens minus the points. Now, not my favorite lean. As I said, we go through the whole slate for week 9. If you want to check out that video, you can. I'll link it in a few moments. But I do lean the Ravens. I think at the end of the day, they cover this game. Maybe they're down. Maybe they come back. I don't know. But I think the Dolphins finally looked good last week against the Falcons. If you know anything about Dolphins, and their fans should know, when they look good one week, the next week, they absolutely stink. And I'm not saying they stink here because the Ravens are not a great defense, but they're getting healthier, and I think they can make stops when they need to. The Dolphins just don't have anyone outside of Jalen Waddle or Devon Achane. Like Malik Washington, count me out there. Their tight ends are all banged up. I think Tua could be under pressure here. I think Waddle has a decent game. We'll talk about him in just a second. But outside of that, they don't have a lot of playmakers. And I think that could come back to bite them against a very high-powered Ravens offense. I think Tua maybe throws an interception or 2 here, and that's the difference. And that's how they lose by 10 points in this game. It wouldn't shock me at all. So I would ride with them if I had to. Finally, like I said, we wrap up with a chalkboard entry. Reminder, if you want to support the channel, you certainly should sign up for Chalkboard. It's helping support you too, because if you use my code COS or the link down below, they give you this Tua free pick. He's getting one last year. Come on, guys. And they'll also give you a free 100% deposit match. So again, get on in there. It's free money if you want it. Take advantage of that. I'll pull up all the states that Chalkboard's available in. Should be in all these states. If it's in your state, your state's in green, you should get on in there. Again, here is what I'm rolling with. It includes some props that I've already touched on, which would be Derrick Henry at the top, Lamar at the bottom. The other two are Jalen Waddle and Isaiah Likely's more than a receiving yards. Now, I honestly almost consider taking Waddle for 80 plus as like a smaller quarter unit play, but the odds weren't good enough, so I just didn't get there. But I think Jalen Waddle, if they have any chance of having a good game here, Jalen Waddle has to play well, and he's their number one guy, and they just don't have other guys getting open. So there is some concern that maybe the Ravens double team him, but they find ways to get Waddle the ball. So I think he could go above 65. Historically been much better at home. Tua should have a little bit of time here. I like him to sling it. We know Jalen Waddle, a great big play guy. We saw Rome Odunze last week of over 100 yards versus the Ravens. Isaiah Likely, if you look at his game logs, you'd be like, this guy stinks. But again, much different offense now with Lamar under center. Lamar always has had that soft spot for Isaiah Likely. He's still running out there 50, 60% of the time. They run a lot of 12 personnel. He should be in the game a lot. I think they run a play action, and Isaiah Likely gets a 25-plus yard catch. Would not shock me at all. So again, playing $25 on that if you want to, turns into 179. But as for my official plays, we need Lamar and Tua pass touchdowns, and we need the King Henry for a 20+ yard rush. Hopefully you guys have been making some money with me this NFL season. Hopefully we can continue that going into week 9. It's been a pretty good start, but we have more work to do. Let's try to turn in a 50+ unit season. Something that's hard to do in the NFL, but we certainly will give it our all to try to get there. Thanks again for tuning in. If you want to check out my week 9 best bets video, that video will be linked somewhere on the screen. A final reminder actually out there, we do have a dub club if you want some exclusive plays. We'll probably have a long shot parlay for this game. We also will have a ladder challenge for this game as well. So again, stay tuned for those things. Be posted in the morning into the dub club. 50% off your first month if you're looking for it. But again, game picks video over there. When the ladder challenge is live, will be over here. We'll cook up a day 1 winner. I know the NBA's kind of been kicking us in the butt. We'll get it back to NFL, which took us to day 10 before. We certainly can get dialed in week 9 and climb and get back to where we need to be and finish the deal. Either way, thanks for tuning in. It's Austin. Love you all. I'll see you guys back in the next one. Peace.